Parilla.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
You may inquire, Mr. Bromine.
Please tell the jury your full name.
My name is Marco Antonio Parilla.
Mr. Parilla, where are you from?
I'm from Tampa, Florida.
And where's your family from?
My family is from St. Croix, Virgin Islands.
Your Honor, at this time,
You may.
well, I'm going to show you a thumb drive that we discussed earlier that has 2 video clips on that. Are you familiar with those video clips?
Yes,
And is one of the video clips when you were first walking through the Sally Port jail after your arrest?
yes,
And the other video clip, the same message, free clips.
yes.
Just tell me
Any objection?
it would be Defense Exhibit 23B. I'm sorry?
A and B. One is A, one is B.
23A and B.
All right, they're admitted.
Your Honor, I have videos on my computer, and rather than plugging this in, I would ask that it be allowed to publish from my laptop.
Any objection from the state? All right, you may.
Well, I'm going to show you a brief video, okay?
Yes, sir.
You may only be able to hear it if you've seen this video before.
Yes.
Logically challenged.
Judge, can jurors sit down here? You can see up in the.
Yes. How about Mr. Davis? Can you see? All right. You might have the best seat in the house. I don't know.
Mr. Parilla, as you were walking into the jail, you had just been arrested for the murder of Officer Conduct.
Yes.
Recall that?
Yes.
Someone from the member of the press asked you, do you have anything to say to the family?
I recall.
What did you tell them?
I'm sorry to the family.
When you told the reporter as you're walking into the Pinellas County Jail that you were sorry to the family, did you mean it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. playing this right at 16 minutes into the interview. You recall this part, Marco? You recall the interview?
Yes.
Okay. Prior to being in this interview room, did you know that you had shot and killed Officer Condon?
No, sir.
At the beginning of you being in the interview room, did you know that you had shot and killed Officer Condon?
No, sir.
Mr. Parilla, was this the first moment you realized you had killed Officer Condon?
Yes, sir.
Before that, you did not know?
No, sir.
When you were sitting in the back of the patrol car in Tarpon, downtown Tarpon, or the Sponge Docks area, you didn't know?
No, sir.
Mr. Parilla, you've been in the Pinellas County Jail for quite some time.
Yes, sir.
When you entered your guilty plea, you knew that you would spend the rest of your life in prison.
Yes, sir.
Best case scenario.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
27.
So if you're allowed to live, regardless of how old you end up living or how many years you end up living on this earth, you will never ever be released from prison. Did you realize that?
Yes, sir.
And despite that fact, did you decide at some point that you wanted to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
Did you always want to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
Were you afraid?
Yes, sir.
When you pled guilty, did you understand that you gave up your right to a jury trial where the state of Florida would have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you had killed Officer Condon,
Yes, sir.
that you had done so with premeditation?
Yes, sir.
Did you give up your right to be afforded the presumption of innocence in that trial?
Yes, sir.
And did you give up the right to require the state of Florida to prove each and every element of the offense beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, sir.
Did you give up your right for your lawyers to maybe try to have a jury find you guilty of a lesser charge, manslaughter or second-degree murder,
Yes, sir.
knowing that there would be a certainty, and the certainty would be what?
Definitely.
Or,
Life in prison.
okay. Prior to making that decision, do you recall being in the attorney visitation area with your lawyers?
Yes, I do.
Recall that there was a videographer present in the visitation room.
Yes.
Mr. Parilla, do you recall giving testimony to your lawyers in preparation for trial?
Yes, I do.
And it was being videotaped.
Yes.
You recall being there for maybe a couple of hours.
Yes.
And you recall at the very end of that meeting, the videographer asking you if you wanted to do a video message for your boys.
Yes, I do.
You have two boys?
Yes.
What are their names?
Marco Antonio Parilla Jr. and Samuel Louis Parilla.
When you were asked to do the video message for your two boys, what was your initial response?
I didn't want to do it.
When you told me that you didn't want to do it, what did I say to you?
That in the future, that children always come to the defense attorney and ask if my father left anything behind.
And did I ask you to go ahead and do a message for your boys?
Yes, you did.
And did you agree to do it?
Yes, I did.
Was there any preparation?
No, sir.
Did you have a script?
No, sir.
Did you speak from the heart?
Yes, sir.
And the video that I'm about to show the jury, is that the message that you did for your boys on that morning?
Yes, sir.
That afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Is there a number with this one, or is this part of 23?
This is so the walkthrough and this one are the two, A and B. And the initial one was part of the interrogation video that the state and is going to use.
Okay. So do you know if this is a 23A or a 23B? Is it
I
B?
don't.
Okay. Maybe the clerk can figure that out at some point, for the record. All right, this is 23B. The first one was 23A. Okay.
Well, my boys, Marco Antonio Parilla and Samuel Louis Parilla. I just wanted to tell you guys that I love you. And I know it's kind of hard for you guys right now. I remember spending time with my dad and hanging out with him for a whole day. And
You're telling your sons, I remember spending time with my dad for one whole day. What were you referring to?
In St. Croix, Virgin Islands?
The day he came to visit you?
Yes.
And the same day that he left
Yes.
and said he would be back
Yes.
and never returned?
Yes.
for that, it's kind of hard because you guys are so young. But I want you guys to know that I love you. And sometimes it's just you're faced with things that we just don't understand. And you guys know that I do anything for you guys. I want you guys to know that no matter what, I always love you. No matter what happens, respect your mother. Listen to her. Whatever she says, I know it's gonna be hard because I'm not there. But I want you guys to know that there's only one mother in this world. You got plenty fathers, but you only have one mother. There's only one mother, and you have to take care of her. You always have to take care of your mom, no matter what, and take care of each other. Because you guys are brothers, and you guys need each other growing up. You guys are gonna have to do the best to survive with each other. So just know that I'ma always love you, regardless of whatever. I'm always be here. We gonna always be together. I'm right here, no matter what. And I want you guys to know that. I'm always look up at the stars and the moon, thinking about you guys. Always remember that. I really love you guys, and I would do anything for you guys. Just please, please don't hate me. That's all I ask. I love you.
Parilla, the message to your boys. Told them to take care of their mother.
Yes.
You said you only have one mother,
Right.
lots of fathers, only
Yeah.
one mother.
Yes.
We've heard a lot about your life here in court over the past several days. I'm not going to ask you to go into it other than to say, is it accurate?
Yes.
Do you have a difficult life?
Yes, I did.
Your father failed you?
Yes, he did.
Your mother failed you?
Yes, she did.
You still love your mother?
Yes, I do.
And now you failed your boys.
Yes, I did.
Mr. Parilla, I noticed during the trial, as you were sitting next to me, that the majority of the time you're sitting with your head down
Yes.
and your hands folded in front of you.
Yes.
Why is that?
I'm ashamed of what I done.
Mr. Parilla, is there something that you would like to say to the wife of Officer Conduct and his children?
Yes.
What is that?
That I'm truly, honestly sorry for what I've done to cause pain and hurt in your life. And I know that I will carry this burden with me forever because I'm truly sorry for what I've done to you and your family.
Is there something, Marco, that you would like to say to Officer Conduct's father?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
I'm sorry for taking your son away. I never meant to. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. And I know it wasn't supposed to be this way. I wish I could take it back. Every second of my life, I wish I could take it back.
Mr. Parilla, is there something you would like to say to the officer of the Tarpon Springs Police Department and the community as a whole?
Yes.
What is that?
I'm sorry to the community, to the department of Tarpon Springs Police Department. I'm sorry to all the fallen officers in the nation. I'm sorry. And I wish that I could turn back time and change the direction of the course of everything that took place. I'm truly sorry.
That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Yes, Judge.
So, Mr. Parilla, I take it the video of you addressing your children was to suggest that you could be a good father, that you'd do anything you could do to help those boys not be like you grew up.
Yes.
And you had that chance, didn't you?
Yes.
You went to prison, got out, you're in work release. They teach you how to transition back into community, right? Follow
Yes.
the laws, obey society, and you could get your kids, and you could start again from the beginning and do for them what your father, you say, did not do for you, or your family, or your sisters, or anybody else around you. You had that chance.
Yes, I did.
Instead, you chose to arm yourself with a weapon, give lessons to people at a party about how best to shoot somebody to kill them, to go on a hunt for Jareem Roach because you were angry about him calling the police on you. And in lieu of Jareem Roach, you made a choice to kill Officer Conduct and fired at him 7 times from no further away than from me to you.
I'm going to ask for a question, please.
Overruled.
Is that true?
Yes.
So you made that choice. Life's kind of all about choices, isn't it? I heard that today when we were picking a jury. Somebody said, you're here today because of the choices you have made in your life, right?
Yes.
That night, you made a choice, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And that was to end Officer Contact's life. And now today, you're going to ask this jury to make a choice for you. Is that right?
Yes.
And let your life be here to communicate with your kids and families when you summarily made that decision for Officer Conduct. Does that sound fair?
No, it does not.
You knew from that night that you were facing the death penalty, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Did you not, in that tape that we watched a part of, say to those police officers that you all are trying to kill me? You're
Yes,
going
I
to be
did.
trying to kill me? You remember that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And then shortly thereafter, you said because it was Christmas, it was a bad thing, and that it's only fair that I took him away from his family, so now I guess you guys are going to take me away from mine. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
So you knew from that day forth, you would always be dealing with the potential issue of facing the death penalty because you committed the ultimate crime. You killed a police officer in the line of duty. You know that, right?
Yes, I did.
So when you pled 3 years and, well, 3 years later, you knew that there was a potential of that to exist.
Yes, I did.
You have some tattoos on you, right?
Yes, I do.
What are they? Show them to me. Raise your hands. I can't see over there. What do they say?
One says Rachel,
Well, it's right there. Rachel. Who's Rachel?
Rachel Lutz,
One of your girlfriends?
one of my friends.
Okay. Was she one of the ones that you were messing with when you were messing with Desi? When you're supposed to be living with Francisca, taking care of 2 kids? Is that who Rachel is?
Yes.
Where's your Francisca's tattoo on your hand? Do you have hers?
No.
She's the mother of your children. You don't have hers.
No.
Rachel's there because she was significant.
Yes.
How about your boys? Are they tattooed on your hands?
Yes.
Where are they tattooed?
My son's name is tattooed on my right hand and his birthday.
Mm-hmm. Where about the other son?
I didn't get his yet.
Is he the second son?
Yes.
Is he the son that you disputed maternity or
Yes.
paternity? So Marco, if you hadn't gotten caught that night and you did try to get away, I mean, you took off in the car, you ran over Officer Contact, leaving. If it wasn't bad enough, you already shot him. Strewn out, ripped off his belt and service gear and everything else, and spewed it all over the street, and ran over towards first Tarpon Springs police officer and swerved around his car, almost hitting him. Then you went on down the road and you confronted the second Tarpon Springs police officer. Your story was he was trying to hit you, trying to run you off the road, and he was just trying to turn around and get out of there, thought you were going to hit him, and then ultimately you crashed the car. And you didn't get out and say, okay, after here, no sirree. You got out of the car, you pulled your britches up, and you took off running. Just get away. Save your bacon. You weren't worried about what happened to anybody else, just it was about what happened to Marco Parilla. But you got caught. Right?
Yes.
So if you hadn't gotten caught, we wouldn't be sitting here listening to you say this stuff today. You don't want to die, do you? Do you?
No.
You're not going to tell them to kill you. You're going to tell them whatever you got to tell them to make them make a recommendation of life as opposed to death. Make a vote of that. Aren't you?
Yes.
All this history we've been listening to over the last 4 days of stuff coming back and forth from these doctors largely is based on a lot of the interview they did with you. You're telling them what happened at a time in the past of your life. You really can't challenge it. Right?
Yes.
Like we learned a lot of things about this alleged rock that turned out to be something you threw up in the air and it hit you on the head, as opposed to something falling off a building. And that a bat was not a bat as we think about it, a plastic bat, right?
Yes.
You've heard of that wiffle ball bats? You guys had those growing up. Plastic bat. So, this gun that you killed Officer Contact with, the .40 that you shot 7 times and emptied, you bought that to carry with you at all times during your illicit drug trade. Is that true?
Yes.
For protection. To use to encounter somebody that might buck your situation with the drug deal, want to take your money, want to do something that you didn't like. Right?
Yes.
You didn't have to kill him that night. You didn't have to fire at him. You could just said, hey, whoa, okay, here, you go back to prison, you finish your sentence, and you're done. So you come back and been a good father. It was a choice, right? Like a choice like what they're going to make.
Yes.
And you chose Marco Parilla. You chose that choice to choose for you what benefited you, regardless of the consequences. Kind of sounds funny, right? Now you're asking him to do something for you. I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any redirect examination?
So, at
Julio Melendez.
Julio Melendez was 3 years older than you,
Yes, sir.
abandoned by his parents at 2,
Yes, sir.
and was raised by your maternal grandparents.
Yes, sir.
Flew in here from Colorado and testified.
Yes, he did.
When he told the jury that your mother beat you on a regular basis, is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
You don't want to die.
No, I don't.
Is it your understanding that if you are sentenced to life, everything will be over with?
Yes, sir.
Marco, I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as Defense Exhibit 6. It's not an evidence. Ask if you recognize that.
Yes, I do.
Did you write this?
Yes, I did.
What is it?
A poem.
This time we would move to introduce Defense Exhibit number 6.
Any objection?
Nothing other than this to be on scope of the record.
All right, I'll allow you to ask follow-up questions if you'd like, so I'll overrule the objection if there is one. It's admitted.
Despite the fact that you want to live, have you lied to the jury about your life?
No, I have not.
Did you have a difficult life?
Yes.
The information that's been presented to the jury by you and other witnesses, is that a fair depiction of your life?
Yes, it is.
That's all I have.
All right, any further questions by the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down. What says the defense? You may.
At this time, the defense would rise.
Thank you. Any further rebuttal witnesses for the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who would that be?
Dr. LaFaro. Your Honor, can we approach?
You may.